myself Govind Neglur. I welcome you all to the tutorial on use of LaTeX for report writing and presentation. In this session, I will be covering various LaTeX commands that can be used to format the text. This will be a hands-on session wherein I will be using Text Studio to demonstrate text formatting options of LaTeX. So without waiting further, let's get started. As you can see, I have now opened Text Studio and I have opened a new text file and have named it as text formatting. This code shows the basic syntax of LaTeX. So if you are not aware of basic syntax of LaTeX, you can refer my previous videos. In this session, so we will see how we can change the line spacing options of documents using LaTeX. What is line spacing? The distance between two lines is referred to as line spacing. So to demonstrate this point, I will use a Lipsum package and introduce some random paragraphs. So here I am introducing two random paragraphs and I'm going to build this now. As you can see here, the distance between each line is referred to as line spacing, and by default LaTeX will typeset the text with 1.0 line spacing. So we are now interested in how to change this setting. To be able to easily use or change line spacing options, you need to use a package called as setSpace. So I'm going to write the statement use package setSpace. So to change the line spacing options for LaTeX documents, we can do it in two ways. One is I can apply the line spacing for the entire document, or I can apply line spacing for a specific set of paragraphs or specific text. First, we will see how to apply line spacing options for the entire document. To be able to do this, you need to remember some commands and we have to use those commands in the preamble. Recollect, preamble refers to the area between document class and begin document. So to specify a line spacing of 1 point, we need to use one command called single spacing. When you use single spacing as a command, it will convert the text of the entire document having 1.0 line spacing option. So let me build this now. You are not able to see any change. The reason is because the default line spacing for LaTeX document is single spacing. Now suppose I want to specify double line spacing. For this you need to use a command called double spacing. So it is as simple as that, backslash double spacing to specify double spacing. Now you please keep on staring at this right hand side of this window. See the change. So when I build this, you will notice the entire document, the line spacing option for all the text got changed from 1 to 1.1 to 2. Suppose I want to specify 1.5 line spacing option. So you have 1/2 spacing. By using 1/2 spacing, you will be able to change the line spacing options to 1.5. Suppose you want to specify line spacing options of say 1.3 or 2.5. So you want to specify your custom defined values for line spacing. For that, you don't have separate commands as single spacing, double spacing, so on. Rather, we use a command called set stretch, and you specify the stretch factor. I want to convert this text into 1.3 line spacing. So you specify backslash set stretch 1.3 as an option, build it. You will notice now the text is having a line spacing of 1.3. Suppose I want the set stretch factor to 2.5. So just specify that value here, build it. You will notice now the line spacing option is showing as 2.5. So this is how easily you can specify the various line spacing options for the entire document. Now having seen the spacing options for entire document, now I want to specify the line spacing for a specific set of text. How can this be done? This is what we are going to see now. For specifying the line spacing for a specific text, we need to use the environment called begin. So I want to specify double spacing. So you have an environment named double space and put that set of text into the environment. So what this means, this entire paragraph from this Lipsum package random text will be displayed with the line spacing option of 2, and this two paragraphs which are not part of this environment will be displayed with 1.0 line spacing option. Let us see the effect of this. You can notice the first paragraph is showing double line spacing, and the rest of the paragraph is now displayed with a single line spacing, which is the default option for LaTeX document. I want to now specify 1/2 spacing, 1/2 space. You can see now this first paragraph is of 1/2 spacing option. I can also specify single space. However, you will not notice any change here because all three paragraphs will now be set with a single spacing option. Now what if I want to specify a custom defined spacing? We used set stretch for entire document. Here we need to use spacing as an environment and specify that spacing factor here. So if I specify 2.5 here, now the entire now this paragraph will be typeset with 2.5 line spacing. So as you can see here, only the first paragraph got switched from normal line spacing, which is 1.0 to 2.5 line spacing. This is about line spacing options. Next we will see what are the various ways to specify vertical spacing. What do you mean by vertical spacing? The distance between two lines of text is referred to as vertical spacing. Suppose I have one paragraph here, Lipsum 1. I also have another paragraph, Lipsum 2. I build this. What you would notice is when the first paragraph ends, immediately the second paragraph starts. So the line spacing or vertical spacing between two paragraphs is 1.0. I can change it with a custom defined value using vertical spacing options. To specify vertical spacing, vSpace and specify the length of spacing in terms of points. vSpace 15 point. Now let me build this. You might notice only 15 point vertical spacing is applied between the paragraphs. What if I change it to 30 point? You would notice that now the distance has increased between the two paragraphs. Similar to vertical space, you also have three more commands. The first command is small skip. Small skip specifies a small spacing between two paragraphs. You might not see even the difference here. After small skip, we have medium skip, which is specified as med skip. You might notice the difference between these two paragraphs has been increased with a small amount. After mid skip or med skip, we have big skip. You will notice again there is one additional space that got introduced compared to med skip with respect to big skip. Optionally, I also can specify vertical spacing using a command called vfill. Vfill is an interesting command. When vfill is used between two texts, then both texts is specified in the same page and both text tries to occupy the entire page. Let us see the effect of vfill on this text. You might notice the first paragraph is now specified in the topmost and the second paragraph is specified in the bottommost, and the area between this is the gap that is formed, and this gap we call it as vertical fill. So how does vfill work? It tries to fit the content as much as possible into a single page, and between the each text wherever vfill is specified, it tries to fill that gap with spaces, ensuring that the entire text covers the entire page. So to introduce this more, I will again write vfill command and try to specify one more paragraph from Libsum. Now you can notice these three paragraphs are separated with some spaces. I can also fill one more. You can now notice you have four texts separated with the some spacing options, and for all four the spacing options have remained same. So it has vfill has tried to put the entire content as much as possible into one page and tries to ensure uniform spacing between the multiple texts. vfill is very useful for creating the title pages. Title pages were discussed in the previous video session. You can have a look into them. So these are various options for vertical spacing. Similar to vertical space, we also have horizontal space. To specify horizontal space, first let us consider one text. This is a tutorial on text formatting in LaTeX. So this is my text and this is how it yields the typesetting. Now if I give tries to give some spaces between this and is word, what you will notice is nothing much has changed in the typesetting of the PDF. This is so because LaTeX is a markup language and it removes unnecessary spaces. Now what if in my text I want to retain the spaces? Of course you can notice here I have given so many spaces, but not even a two space has been displayed in this output. Now how do I do it? Suppose I want to specify two spaces between this and is word. The way I can do is you need to specify one backslash. One backslash specifies one horizontal space, an empty horizontal space. Let me run this now. You would notice now there is two space between this and is. What if I want one more space? Again specify one more backslash. So an empty backslash represents one horizontal spacing. So you can notice now you have basically three spaces. One space is for this, another two are for backslashes. Now there is one more horizontal spacing option called backslash comma. So first I will use backslash and this is what I got it. Next I use backslash comma as the next horizontal spacing option. When I build this, you will notice the space between this and is has increased. So compared to backslash, backslash comma provides more horizontal space between the text. The next horizontal spacing option that we have is similar to V space, we have H space. H space again specifies the spacing between two text as a point option. So I am specifying 15 points as a space. So let me build this. So you can see here this difference between this and is word is 15 points. If I change it to 30 points, you would notice now the difference here is 30 points. And similar to vfill, which was the option for vertical spacing, you also have something called as hfill. The way hfill works is very similar to the way vfill works. Vfill filled the text vertically in the entire page. Same way hfill fills the entire text horizontally. Let us see the effect of this. So I have just replaced that H space with hfill. Let's see what happens. You might notice you are seeing that there is a large gap between this and is word. This is because now the text is stretched across the entire line. What if I put one more hfill between the text on and text, you will notice that again there is a space that has been left. So hfill is very similar to vfill, only difference is hfill specifies the spaces or fills the text horizontally and vfill fills the text vertically. So these are few of the line spacing, horizontal spacing and vertical spacing options available in LaTeX. Next we will see how to display quotation marks in LaTeX. I will just type one text. This is quotation mark. So usually we type the quotation mark with double quotes. In fact, we have two quotation marks. One is a pair of single quotes and the other one is a pair of double quotes. I'll try to specify a double quote using the keyboard keys. Let us see what output we will get. As you can see, of course it printed the quotation mark. The quotation mark is not being printed properly. Both quotation marks are being specified as right hand side quotation marks, but the first quotation mark should have been the other way around. So what is the solution? To specify the left quotation mark, instead of double quote, use two back quotes. Now let us see how this gets typeset. Now as you can see, this is now showing properly. So this is the way to display or typeset quotation marks in LaTeX. For left quotation mark, you use two back quotes, and for right double quotation mark, you use either double quotation mark from the keyboard or two single quotation mark from the keyboard. Let us see. You can see now both the result yields the same typeset. Next, how do I display single quote? It is very simple. For left single quote, you use a single back quotation mark, and for right single quote, you just use a single quote from the keyboard. Let us see. You can see now it is displayed properly. We will now see how to format the text using LaTeX. I'm going to type one sentence. My name is Govind Negalur. Now I want to print my name with bold font. How can we do this? This is done easily in LaTeX with an option or with a command called textbf, text bold face font. If I build it now, you can see now my name is been printed with boldface font. Now I want to specify my name with an emphasis. For achieving this, we have a command in LaTeX called emph. Let us see the effect of this in my typesetted document. You can now see my name is being displayed with some emphasis. You can also make the text italicized. For this, you can use text it as a command. It here refers to italicized. If I build it now, you will see that now the text is italicized. I want to now underline my name. For this, we use a command called \underline. Let us see what happens with this. You can now see my text is being underlined properly. What if I want to make this text both underlined as well as with bold face font? Just embed both commands one after the other. What do I mean by that? First I will make it bold and then underline. Let us see the effect of this. Now you can see now the text is both underlined as well as boldface. How do I make it italicized? Again, use the command text it and again embed it one after the other. So this is the This is how we embed one command inside another command. Let us see how it gets displayed. You can now see my name is both underlined, italicized, as well as showing with the boldface font. We have two more text formatting commands. First one is text subscript and text superscript. Let us see what are the use of both. Suppose I want to make my middle name as a subscript. For this, I need to use a command called text subscript and specify that particular text in a pair of flower brackets. Let us see how this gets typeset. You can now see this G has come as a subscript. I will now demonstrate the use of text superscript. I will add one more line to it. I was born on 1st June 1986. I want to make this first ST word as a superscript. For this, I use a command called text superscript. Let us see what happens with this. You can now see that ST has been displayed with the superscript. In some cases, quotations can be embedded in the text using quote and quotation environments. What do I mean by this? Let us take this with an example. I have now copied some text from the internet about the Isaac Newton. He was the person who discovered basic techniques of differential and integral calculus. Now if you want to display in LaTeX as a quotation, we have two environments, quote and quotation environments. Let us see the difference between them. I need to embed this paragraph, which is Isaac Newton's own estimate of his work. I can do it with the quote environment. To do this, I will use begin quote and end quote. I'll cut this and paste it at the end. Then I can make this word Principia in a boldface using text BF, as well as I can also make optics in boldface. I can also make differential integral calculus as emphasis or emphasize the text. Let us see how this gets typeset. As you can see, at the end of the first paragraph, it has left some spaces, and this entire quote from Newton has been displayed with some tabs. After some tab, it has displayed this text. This is what is referred to as quotation. I also have one more environment called quotation. When I build this, if you have observed, the difference between quote and quotation is the quotation environment, the first line of the quotation text starts with a tab, which was not true in case of quote. So quotation can be used for long text and quote can be used for short text. We will now see various types of fonts that are available by default to the LaTeX environment. I will delete the previous text and paste this sentence. The peculiarity of this sentence is that this is the sentence that contains all the alphabets of the English. To demonstrate various font faces that are available in LaTeX, I'll be using this sentence. So the first type of font family we have is Roman face font. So to display the text in Roman face font, we need to use text RM. RM represent Roman face. This is referred to as a font style. Let me run this. You can see now the text has been displayed with the Roman font style. we also have another type of font style named sans serif font style. I'll again paste the text. Now see the difference between those two font styles. I hope you are able to see the difference. The first sentence is from Roman font style and the second sentence is typeset with the sans serif font style. We also have another type of font style called as teletype fonts, which is used, or which is the command for this is text TT. TT represents teletype font. The teletype fonts are like typewriter fonts whose dimensions of each alphabet will remain same, or the width of each alphabet remains same. So this is how it gets typeset. You can clearly see it is looking like a typewriter font. So these are the three basic font styles available by default LaTeX document. We can also have various font styles again. You can also type everything in capital letters. To do that, we need to use one command called uppercase. Let us see the effect of this on the text. You can now see that everything has been displayed with uppercase letters. We also have small capital font style. This is invoked with text SC. I'll paste this. Text SC represents small capital. Let us see the meaning of this. You can see the last line. All the characters are appearing in capital letters, but however, the first alphabet of the every word is displayed with a capital letter. This is what we refer to it as small capital. We discussed text BF for making the text bold font style. We also have two more called as text medium and text low font. These are referred to as font weights. So let us see the difference between them. Text boldface. You can see everything is shown with a black boldface font. Now we have text MD for medium weight of the font. You can see now it is showing with a lesser weight. Sometimes in LaTeX we want all the text that is to be typeset in teletype font. Of course, I can use text TT command to make the text appear in teletype font, but sometimes if the text is large, we can have a better alternative, that is by using all TT as a package. This package lets us to switch between teletype font and normal font easily. All TT represents all teletype. Now I will remove these text. Assume that this is the text I have. I can use begin all TT as an environment and embed the text that you want to get typeset in teletype font inside this, or rather I can use some other paragraph, some random paragraph. So if I typeset this, so what you notice is the first line only has been converted to teletype and rest all paragraph is set with a normal font. What if I want the text lazy dog to be emphasized? I can type the command emph lazy dog. When I compile this, what you notice is this lazy dog is actually put in an emphasis mode. Now what if I want to display \emph in the typeset document itself? This is useful when you are writing a text or you are generating a document wherein you want to show the reader these commands. But as it is, you cannot make this command appear over the LaTeX document because it will be treated as command of LaTeX and it gets interpreted accordingly. Now the solution for this is you can use one environment called verbatim environment. Verbatim means all the text that is written within this environment will be treated as normal text. It is not going to represent or understand this as a special command of LaTeX. You can also observe this behavior by change of color of this text when I change the environment from all TT to verbatim. And also I can give spaces like this and see how it gets typeset. So you can see over here, when you use verbatim environment, all the spaces are recognized as not special case. They are rendered or typeset as it is. Even you are able to display emph in this command. Sometimes we want to change the justification of the text in our LaTeX document. What do you mean by justification? You can notice in this paragraph the text is aligned or justified with respect to both left margin as well as right margin. In MS Word terminology, this is referred to as both way justification. I have left justification, right justification as well as center justification as possible options for formatting the text. Now we will see how this is performed using LaTeX. So I will now write few paragraphs, lipsum 2, lipsum 3. So I have 3 paragraphs, and by default the default justification that is available to LaTeX is both way justification. I want to change the first paragraph as left justified. For achieving this, we need to use one environment called flush left and put the content, which is this content, into the environment. And I want to put lipsum 2, that is second paragraph from lipsum package, as center alignment. For this I need to use center as a environment. So by using center environment, you can make the text appear or justified in the center justification. I want to put the last paragraph in right justified manner. For this you can use flush right environment. Let us try to build this and see how it gets typeset. You can notice now the first paragraph is typeset with left alignment. The second paragraph is typeset with the center alignment, and third paragraph is typeset with the right alignment. And further paragraphs outside this environment will be typeset with both way justified environment. So the point to be remembered here is, by default in LaTeX, the text will be aligned in both left as well as right margins. This is about text justification in LaTeX. Now, having already seen the various font types available in LaTeX by default, we will now quickly have a look into various font sizes that are possible by default in LaTeX. In fact, there are 10 various font sizes which come as built-in and have their respective commands. Let us have a look into each one of them and see how the font size varies across each of the commands. We'll again use the previous sentence, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, to demonstrate the various font sizes. The first font size is tiny. If I use tiny and mention the text, let us see what happens when I build this. You can notice the font is displayed with a tiny or a small font. In LaTeX, we usually do not refer to the font with the font numbers as we do in MS Word, because the font sizes is relative to the document class that you are using. So depending on the document class and the paper size that you have chosen, the font size is going to be interpreted differently based on the command. Hence, in LaTeX, the font size becomes relative. The next font size which is bigger than tiny is script size. Let us see. Let us try to build and see it. I will introduce a new line, then I'll try to build it. So you can notice from the first line, the second line is bit bigger because the font size of script size is bit higher. Compared to font size, one more higher font size we can achieve using footnote size. You can recollect the footnotes were already dealt in the previous sessions. You can have a look into them. So the footnotes were typeset using the footnote size as the font size. You can observe the footnote is bit bigger than the script size. After footnote size, we have something called as small as a command. This is again bigger than footnote size. You can observe here, this is bigger than the footnote size. After that, we have the next option or command called normal size. So if you do not use normal size, the text will be rendered as by default as normal size. So this is a normal sized text. After normal size, we have large. Large command all in small case letters. So large is comparatively higher font size than the normal size. We also have one more command called large, but this L is capital, so this follows the camel casing convention. This is again bit larger than the previous command, which is large. I can also have one more command, large, written in all capital letters. This one still has bigger font. We also have two more commands. One is huge, all in small case letters. You can see the font is really big. After this, I also have one more command, huge. The first character of huge is capital, so it follows camel casing convention again. So when I build this, you can notice this is far bigger than the previous one. So like this, all these commands of font sizes are mentioned here with their increasing font size. So there are totally 10 commands that you can use for quickly specifying the font sizes. These are really useful in creating proper typeset and neat looking professional documents. Next, we will see how to give colors to the text. This is a very interesting topic. So let us have a look into it. I'll now type one sentence. This text will be displayed in red color. So to make a particular text display with some color, we require a package named XColor package. Use package XColor, and the text that you want to display in that color should be preceded with a command called text color, followed by the color that you want, which is red here in this case, and put this text that you want to put it in red color within a pair of flower brackets. So this is a syntax. Since I am running it for the first time, XColor package will get downloaded from the internet and Miktex will build that, and then automatically it will show the typeset document. It is going to take some time, so we will wait for some time. Now you can see this entire text is displayed in red color. What if I want to specify blue color? So I want to display everything in red, but only this keyword called blue in blue color. You can use text color, write blue, then put that particular text in the blue color. You can see this is displayed with blue color. You can also specify the mixture of colors. These colors form the RGB model, wherein the three primary colors for coloring this text is used as red, green and blue. There are many models possible like cyan, magenta and yellow called as CMY color. So various techniques are used to color the text. Here we are using RGB colored text, which is the simplest one and also easy to understand. What if I want to specify the mixture of colors? Say I want to display a text with say a red of which is of 70% and remaining is white. So 70% red and 70% 30% white. Let's see with what color it is displayed. This is a colored text. Let me build this. What you will observe here is the first line of text is purely in red color and second line of text is a mixture of red, 70% red and 30% white. What if I want to mix other colors? Say I want to mix now remaining 30% with blue color. I can specify like this: red exclamatory mark 70 exclamatory mark blue. What does this statement means? I am mixing 70% of red color and 30% of blue color. Let's see which color you get it. You can see here it is now a mixture of 70% red and 30% blue. You can also try mixing other colors, say green and blue, say 50-50 and see which color you get it. So you can just play around with these options. Remember, when you are mixing multiple colors, the sum should be equal to 100. You cannot exceed more than 100. It is not going to work. So you can see here now it is displayed with 50% green and 50% blue. So this is how easy it is to display or to make the text appear in a color. You can also optionally color a page. For this, you need to use a command called page color and the name of the color. Suppose I want to color this entire page with yellow. I just need to use this page color command in the preamble and build it. So what you observe is entire page is the background of the page is colored with yellow. A word of caution here: when you use page color, the page will be set for the entire document. So even multiple pages will be displayed with yellow color itself. Having learned the various text formatting commands available in LaTeX, I will now show you the application of these things for designing a page. Here I have tried to design a certificate page wherein I want to display this text called LaTeX Institute with large font and also with small capital font type as well as with boldface series of fonts. Then I want this to be appearing in the center of the page. So I have used begin and end environment and used center as a environment option. Then I want this text, this is to certify that Mr. Govind Neglur has successfully completed tutorial on LaTeX and has earned a certificate of appreciation. I want it to be in sans serif font style. So I have used \text sf and I want the my name to be in emphasized as well as Roman face font. So I used text rm and embedded this emph inside the text rm. And also I want this LaTeX to be displayed with red color. So I have used text color and red, and also want this certificate of appreciation to be in all in uppercase letters. After this, I want to typeset the signature of the director of this LaTeX institute. So I have put these texts inside flush write environment, and I want this to be in a capital case or bold case letter. So I have used text bf the director, in the next line LaTeX institute. Note here I have used a single backslash which gives one space between LaTeX and institute. Without this you would not get a space between LaTeX and institute. Let us see how this gets typeset. You can see here LaTeX Institute is now displayed with a large font, and this is to certify that. You can see Mr. Govind Neglur is now shown with the Roman face font series as well as emphasized, has successfully completed the tutorial on LaTeX. See, the LaTeX is now displayed with red color and earned a certificate of appreciation. The next line you have Director LaTeX Institute. Like this you can easily generate certificate page without much of an effort. I hope you have enjoyed this session. We will meet in the next tutorial. Thank you.